What do you know? So Andrew Ruiz is coming out his shell and he's speaking his mind, and he stated in a rematch with Anthony Joshua that he will be better prepared for the Anthony Joshua rematch than the first fight, because obviously he took the first fight on short notice, and because of that he feels that he will have the upper hand due to the fact that Anthony Joshua don't know how to box, and that's straight coming out of Ruiz's mouth. And he feels that he's the better boxer and just the better fighter overall, because he also stated that Anthony Joshua don't know how to fight off the back foot. When you pressure him, he gets uncomfortable and he already lacks stamina. So obviously the more you pressure him, the faster he gonna tire out, and pressure buzz pipes. So Andrew Ruiz feel like he will have the upper hand in the rematch, as he should. He should feel that way because obviously he dominated the first fight after he was able to knock Anthony Joshua down in the third round. And in this situation, the biggest challenge for Anthony Joshua is how mentally prepared he's going to be for the rematch. I mean, you could get as physically ready as you possibly can. However, if you're not mentally there, then that will be your downfall. Because I know a lot of people feel that Anthony Joshua lacks stamina, that he lacks boxing IQ, and he lacks footwork. He like stuck in the mud almost, like Conor McGregor like to say. And the fact that he's chinny doesn't help either. All these are the disadvantages for Anthony Joshua. However, the main one is his mental. That's his biggest problem in my opinion. I feel like he lacks confidence. And don't get me wrong, the fact that he's chinny, etc., that's a big factor also. But the biggest one is his mental, because you could train your mental in the gym by sparring and performing well. However, if you get knocked down in sparring and you're already mentally weak, then that's not a good sign. You know, some fighters are born mentally strong. For example, Prince Nassim Hamed, Muhammad Ali, Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather. These fighters are mentally strong. However, Anthony Joshua don't seem to be that way. And the fact that he already getting dropped in sparring, according to rumors, and his sparring partner came out and didn't confirm that he dropped him nor denied. Basically, he stated what happens in sparring stays in sparring, and that's the code, which that kind of confirmed the rumors that he did get dropped. Because if he didn't get dropped, his sparring partner would just come out and say that I did not drop Anthony Joshua in sparring. That's easy to say. But because he's not willing to talk about it, and he said that what happened in sparring stays in sparring, kind of confirm it, if you ask me. Now, the fact that he's not performing well in sparring and he having panic attacks before the fight, that's not a good sign. I mean, one fighter that I could relate Anthony Joshua to is Froch. When Froch fought Grove for the second time, he got him a psychologist because Grove kind of got to him mentally. However, in that scenario, if y'all remember, Froch got the better of Groves in the later rounds and he was able to stop Grove. Now, if you don't think the stoppage was legit, he at least won. Now, in Anthony Joshua's case, that's not what happened. In the first fight, he got beat up for like 7 to 8 rounds and he got dropped like 4 times and couldn't recover. So the fact that he got him a psychologist before the fight and he's undefeated, that tell you something. So in the rematch, it's going to be very difficult for Anthony Joshua to be stronger mentally, in my opinion, especially if he comes to the state. So Anthony Joshua definitely need to get his act together and work on a lot of things. I mean, work on that jab. I mean, that's the key to winning the fight versus Ruiz Ortiz. I mean, I know a lot of people feel like Anthony Joshua is more of an inside fighter, but you do not hook with a hooker, especially versus a shorter fighter, a faster fighter, and a fighter with a better chin. You jab with a jabber, but you do not hook with a hooker in the sport of boxing. So Anthony Joshua need to work on that jab of his if he's going to win the rematch. He must have a strong, hard, stiff jab all night and go to the body when it's necessary, because going to the body versus a shorter fighter, the way he was going to the body with that lazy jab will get you in trouble. That will only get you countered. Because Andy Ruiz is a counterpuncher and he waiting for you to do or throw something silly. And Anthony Joshua in the first fight couldn't adjust. I mean, he was asking his cornerman, what should I do next? And that's something you should figure out yourself when you're in the ring. Because the trainer only could tell you so much. You gotta adjust to what's in front of you. Every fighter is different. And Anthony Joshua couldn't adjust to Andy Ruiz on the fly. And that tells me that his boxing IQ is very low. And that he's a good fighter, don't get me wrong. He throws good combinations. But if you could weather the storm the way Andy Ruiz did and stay composed during the storm, because Anthony Joshua is a front runner. Kind of like how Floyd Mayweather used to describe Zab Judah. And that's how Floyd Mayweather beat Zab Judah, by consistent pressure throughout the fight. So after the fourth round, he broke Zab Judah down. And that's kind of what Andy Ruiz did. So if you're able to weather the storm versus Anthony Joshua, then dish it out, you have a high chance of beating Anthony Joshua because, like I said, he's a front runner. Unlike Deontay Wilder, where he could knock you out in the 12th round. You gotta fight a perfect fight all night in order to be a Wilder, because he got an eraser in his right hand, and if you slip for a couple seconds during any round, he could put your lights out. But obviously Anthony Joshua and Wilder are cut different. They both cut from a different cloth. I mean, Wilder is strong mentally, Anthony Joshua is not. Wilder is able to throw wild shots all night and still carry power to the 12th round, and he showed that versus Tyson Fury. Meanwhile, Anthony Joshua ain't doing a damn thing, and he's already gassing out in the 3rd round versus Andrew Ruiz. So in the rematch, obviously Ruiz got the upper hand, but it's still a close fight in my opinion if Anthony Joshua comes in with a good game plan and have a plan A to Z. Because at the end of the day, like I said, your plan A might not always work. You know, Errol Spence has been able to pull that off, but Errol Spence showed versus Mikey Garcia he could always take it to another gear. Anthony Joshua kept talking about the Wilder fight and how they cannot improve. However, when it comes to himself, he could always take it to another gear. Well, shit, you didn't show us that next level gear versus Andrew Ruiz. It seemed that Anthony Joshua has only one gear, so he got to be able to take it to another gear when he needs to, and he got to improve his stamina, his jab, his boxing IQ, and in my opinion, the way he has to fight in order to win the fight is he got to fight just like Klitschko. Jab, right hand, hold. Jab, right hand, hold. Keep your opponent at a distance. If Andrew Ruiz get close, tie him up. But the problem he has is the fact that he weaker mentally than a Klitschko probably, and the fact that he does not hold much. He likes to fight in the inside, and that will always get him into trouble, especially versus a fighter like Andrew Ruiz, because he could bob and weave easy and duck them hooks and come back with his own counters the way he knocked Anthony Joshua down in the 3rd round, because he's a shorter fighter, and Anthony Joshua being the taller fighter is an easy target for Ruiz, especially in the inside, because he could easily get to the body and to the head. So in my opinion, he got to fight like Klitschko, with a hard, stiff jab, with good timing, keeping your opponent in the outside, and as soon as Ruiz closed the gap, he got to tie him up. I mean, shit, the referee might have to disqualify him as much as he gonna have to hold Ruiz, because Ruiz is finna put a lot of pressure on Anthony Joshua. I mean, he finna put all his blood, sweat, and tears into the rematch, because not too long ago, he just got invited to meet the president, and his life changed. So obviously, he's finna put everything to the rematch. I don't think he's gonna gain weight like Eddie Hearn would like him to do and take Anthony Joshua lightly. I feel like Andrew Ruiz knows it's harder to maintain a champion than becoming a champion, because a champion could slip at any night, but for you to be a champion, you have to be on your P's and Q's every night. And Andrew Ruiz seemed like he knows that. And he seemed to be determined to win the rematch. And the fact that he has more time in his hand to prepare for Anthony Joshua this time is going to be a tough task for Anthony Joshua. So we'll see. Drop y'all comments below what y'all think about Andrew Ruiz stating that Anthony Joshua is not a good boxer. And we kind of knew that. Obviously, the UK fans like to hype up Anthony Joshua and gas him up, etc., etc. But we all know what time it is. Andrew Ruiz got faster hand speed, better chin, better stamina. I'm not going to say more power. However, speed translates to power in the heavyweight division. And the fact that he could take a punch and has good balance and he cuts off the ring very well is going to be a very tough task for Anthony Joshua, who lacks boxing skills in his department. So drop y'all comments and subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't listen to these casual ass fans. And follow Long Term Boxing for the best artwork and the best memes for boxing, as y'all see some of his work on the videos that I've been doing. So support the brother, and like I always say, peace, and we outie.